Okay, it's finally recording. I forgot to hit record. Welcome to my first breakdown video. This is my recent track that I released, Some of Love. This video may be scuffed, but we'll see how it goes. This is one of my first types of videos I've ever made. This might help for upcomers who are looking to produce or people who are already producing, just to get some sort of idea. It's pretty much the whole track, as you can see. Nothing too crazy. I think this is the only arrangement that I have playing. Because this initially I didn't want to start it as a a solo track, like just my own original. I think I wanted to do a bootleg of a track and then I just scrapped it. Yeah, I think it was. Oh no, this is when I was testing it. That was another project. But if you guys didn't know, if you're making a track and then you have some sort of idea, you want to make another idea, instead of opening another project, you can just hit clone and it will create another arrangement, as you can see. It's a pretty neat trick. So I'll be going through the whole track. I'll do the mix intro, and then the build of the mid intro, then the mid intro drop, then second build, or you want to call it a break, to the build of the climax, and then the other climax. So I'll just go ahead and play the mix intro, the boring part that no one really cares. But this is how it normally sounds like. Yeah, pretty neat. I can explain the punch first. So in the track, there's two different sounding punches, but they're the exact same punch, but just one of them is like barely processed. It's basically just processed inside of its own punch. So I just did the multiplicator, the pitch, and the pogo, and then it made this type of punch. And what I did with the punch, what I like to do, this can be used same as making kicks. Typically, most kicks now have reverbs ducking in, and they will duck out. So if you listen to this one, you can just hear it going up. And if I go here, I can just show you the processing. Basic EQ. Just a free reverb too, to be honest. Don't need anything else. You can use other reverbs, but this will do the job. So if I play it, you'll see the wet gain will go just up and down, up and down. If I show you here. You can copy the settings if you want. Might help you. Just here, if you can see it. So that's pretty much it for this part. You know, you got your standard, just random samples. You got the classic atmospheres reverse crash that everyone uses. Yeah, and the automations here play a role throughout the whole track, as you can see. It's just this part is for, what was this one for? Oh yeah, it must be the master. Yeah, so this part up here. Just moved it down here. In certain tracks, it will duck down below 0 decibels on where there's no peaks, just like during the breaks and stuff. But when you play it on the mid intro, climax drop, second one as well, I'll kind of raise it back to 0 decibels, so it just gives it that more power in the track, if you want to say. Not too sure. I'll explain it, but I'll just show you now, to be honest. I usually put it up here. You can see it's just, there's nothing on the EQ, but what you can do, if you go down here, you can see on the output level, you can create an automation, and it will just within it just drop the volume up and down, up and down. You can use this method as well if you're pre-mastering. You can just use this trick and then just bring everything down to -6 or -12 I usually get to -12 and then export and then open another project and master it, or if it goes to a label, have a engineer will do it. But that's like one trick if someone wants to know. But I'll show you through the track where it goes down or ducks back up. Okay, moving on. Got the classic vocals that I use. I'll just play it up to here if it wants to move. Oh no, because I had this. Told you it's gonna be a scuffed video. So if I play this part, you can see I completely cut off the reverb and just cut off the low end of the vocal part and added the distortion to the vocals, so it sound like this. And then I think it was a tremolo. Is that the plugin it's called? Can't remember. Let me see if I can. Where was it? This is in the same one. Oh no, it was just the standard panning. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Just open that, create automation on the pan, and then double click on this, hit LFO, and then you just tweak the knobs, and then we'll make that panning left and right. For the vocals, the distortion, pretty basic. You can see it turns everything on, and that's only on one automation that I used, and I linked all of them into one to make it more clean instead of having like a billion automations. So you know, jacked everything up on the 3D discs, played around with the EQ, what I thought would sound good, which it did. Pretty trash. Just used clip control, just tweaked with this a little bit, and then the drive and style tweaked it. And the rest is all turned off, so I don't really need them. I use VC2A even for the leads, just for the compression, which is a very good tool if anyone has it. Yeah, and then just the classic build, and then I will show you the first break and build to the mid intro. So as you can see, it's barely anything. But I'll play the bass line first with its automation, where it's kind of like filtered out and then it filters back in, and it kind of has like the distorted type bass line. So this is how it sounds. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then with the pads, I even got a filter on the pad, so yeah, I thought it was a nice touch. Pretty simple and basic, but it does the trick. The way how I made this bass line, like the sound design of it, I use it for all my tracks. And the way how I learned, I watched tutorials on YouTube, but not hardstyle tutorials. I watched mainly like drum and bass, neuro bass type tutorials, because I think with their elements you can incorporate most of the stuff into hardstyle. I've always been a big fan of drum and bass, neuro bass, liquid drum and bass, and so on. Outside of hardstyle, and that's what I mainly listen to outside of hardstyle. Because I feel like if you just listen to hardstyle, then you get no creativity, in my opinion. For some, probably yeah, but for me, yeah, like if you really want to change up a few things, I reckon yeah, just check out some drum and bass tutorials. They're pretty good. And then you got your classic chords. I usually like to change up the pattern. I don't like just the standard 2x2. I don't really like it. It became boring. But for people who don't know how to build off a bass line into a chord, it's pretty easy. So if you got this bass line here, I mean, just pretty much just copy it. And then go here. I'll just mute that. So this is what I normally do every time. So I get the bass line and I just bring this up here, so it's like that. And I'll bring it around here. So it doesn't really sound proper, but what I like to do, I usually get always the top ones. So like these ones. And then I'll bring it down and then bring it like kinda in the same note as that one. Sometimes it isn't, but I usually do. And then bring that middle one back up here so it sounds like this. Pretty neat. And then the same for this, I'll bring it to D sharp. And then for this one, you kind of have to figure it out. It's probably on F sharp or it could be on G, but we'll try F sharp. So if F sharp, it brings it on F sharp there. And then this one will end off maybe on E. You have to play around with it. So if I play here, see, it doesn't sound right. So on F. So yeah, for that part, you kind of have to play around. So if I play the whole thing. Yeah, that's like just the basic of it. But if you want to like add some spice to it, you can usually play it on this note. Or you can bring it down to F sharp. It will make this sound. But I usually start off with the first part normal, and then this one you can probably add it here if you want. Nah, I don't like how that one sounds. I can just bring it back to how you want it. Sometimes C sounds good, so if you play here. Yeah, you can just keep adding, or you can like just see what works. So I don't need this anymore because I already have it. Turn that back on. Yeah, so I got the chords playing down here, and I have its EQ as well. Oh, not EQ. Automation as well. Just within silent, so it kind of just brings up the cutoff slightly up. I don't want it turned up all the way. And you know, I got the standard vocals with the panning vocals as well underneath, and that one is pitched down, I believe. Yes, it is by -400. It's just pitched down. That's basically it. And there's a trick if you got vocals, and say, because I got this from Splice, it's 132 BPM. You can usually, when you import the vocals into the playlist, and you're producing on 160 BPM, you would want the vocals on its correct BPM. So you can just click on the top left here where my mouse is, go to fit tempo, and you just type in BPM. So you just click on BPM and you just type 132, and then it goes to 132, and then it's like in key or in time if you want to say. So yeah. So that's the kick. You can use the EQ, and the EQ just has the high end cutoff, so it kind of makes like the boom boom. Yeah, pretty standard, using every hardstyle tracks. Yeah, I got the vocal chops. The vocal chops, the reason why it's like that, I did it as in like a trancy type stab vocal chop. So if I play it, I probably should have this automation on. Yeah, it's pretty standard. Yeah, build's pretty standard for the drop. So if I play it. Gonna blue ball you right there. I'm not gonna play the drop just yet. So yeah, I like to do a normal build, and then you know how most Hardstyle has like fake drop, so it has like a second build within it. Yeah, so that's the same vocal cut, but this time the distortion slowly building up. And you see I got Miss Snare, I got his sample packs. He's got good packs. I like his samples. Pretty neat. So yeah, you can hear how the distortion's slowly, gradually building up with the vocals. Same as the snare. Snare's also getting pitched up as well. I think it's getting pitched up, yep, to 11. Pitching up snare's easy. Just use the pitch, put one number you want. I usually go 11 or 12, and then when you play it, you'll see it. You can see it just like climbing. Yeah, I feel like it's a neat trick. I usually use it in most tracks. Sometimes you don't need to, just depending on the type of tracks and so on. So we'll get to the drop part of the mid intro. Pretty basic, not too long. Straight to the point. Same vocal chops, but I just played around. So I use the first part of the vocal, so it makes like in every, say second. Yeah, second. And then, yeah, so this is how it sounds. So I'll play it up to here. So yeah, that's the first half of the mid intro with just the basic vocal chops and just distorted. Doing kick rolls, pretty basic. Usually that's just how it looks. And that will be like, I'll create a unique version of it and just do a pitch 2 down, standard 2 down. And then if you want to pitch up, I do usually go up to 8 or 9 and then just flick it up to 8 or 9. So, and that's the same punch as the mix intro with the reverb. So I'll just play it now. Pretty neat. So if I remove the automation, say sounds messy. So when you add the automation with it, sounds pretty neat. I'll just put it down here. Yeah, sick. I'll turn everything back on. And more kick rolls, so it's pretty standard here. I usually did the kick rolls kind of matching with the vocals, the way how it is, but I like to add like the shorter kick rolls. And then here is like you got like your small little break with kick effects. So I'll play the kick effects. So pretty simple, nothing too crazy. But the kick effects is just basically EQing, camel crush, and so on, like the standard. We got the atmospheres crash again, one that everyone uses. So it's matching the kick effects, the hats. Oh, just crash. So yeah, so if I play it together. Yeah, and then got the vocals with the panning automation. So if I play that. So yeah, so it sounds sick when you have the kick rolls and then that part. Yeah, so it continues, still the same. Got another riser, more kick rolls. So yeah, it's kind of matching again with the vocals, which is pretty sick. And then I switch up the vocal chops. So I still use the same ones, but I just rearranged it again. So it sounds like this. So yeah, with mid intros, you don't need to go too crazy. but if you want to make it more complex, you can. You can make it simple, you can. It's just if you have clean sounds, I reckon that's like just the ideal thing. So here it's pretty basic, nothing too crazy. Just like if you have a good sounding kick, if you can do the distortion properly on the vocals. For me, I struggled doing those. So when I went into this project, I was like, I'm not gonna make it too complicated for myself. I'll try and make it simple as I can, which it turned out pretty good. So yeah, just more kick rolls. Yeah, and that's pretty much the mid-intro part, but I'll show you now because I did mention about the EQ in the master. So you can see here how it's barely noticeable, but it makes a big difference. So if I can just pull up that, I'll show you if I'm playing it just before. Yeah, I'll play it up to here. Oh, I keep opening the wrong thing because I'm used to the older file because they rearranged a few things. I know you can rearrange it, but I'm just too lazy to do it. So you can see how it's on plus 0.6 dB. If I just continue to hover over it and play it, you can see how it's building up to +2. The way how I mixed it makes sense why it's on +2 because it still won't hit 0 decibels. But yeah, just how it is. So if I play it. So yeah. So when it gets to the drop part, it plays louder, and then once you finish the mid intro, it goes back down to a lower decibel. So it goes probably just close to the minus again. That's one trick that I like to use. I think makes the tracks down there a little bit, but yeah. So this is now the first breakdown after the mid intro. It's the same as the beginning of the just before the build up to the mid intro, but yeah. So it builds up to the main part of the break with the vocals, and this sample came with those vocals. I think it's UK garage genre, so I feel like it was pretty neat for it. So just give me a second. Someone's messaging me. Okay, so you know, standard vocals and so on is building up, and you can hear how the chord progression down the bottom, it's the cutoff is opening up, and then it will duck back down. So yeah, that's the first part of the break. Sorry, just got someone messaging me. It's something important. Give me one moment. Let me just mute myself. Sorry about that. Just someone had to call me or something urgent. Let me just. send that back. Okay. Yep, so that's the first break. So it builds up just before the first climax break drop. I don't know if it's what you want to call it. Yeah, the samples, yep, came with the vocals. Just added a normal 909 kick and just snares again. You know, typical build, nothing too crazy. So we'll get to the melody part of the drop. Just looking for cabinets because I got too much crap all over my desk. I want to put it in a cabinet for display. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's the melody. As you can see, it's all grouped in one. Don't need it too crazy. Basically, how the melody looks. With glide notes and just standard. So I'll just play it on its own. So yeah, basically all layered, and of course I love Mist's gold. If you have a sample pack, one of them, this is one of my favorites. So yeah, that, and then I got like just my own sound design and so on. So that's how it all sounds together. And I usually have it here. I always start from the left side, have it all here. And it's all going to this track. Ugh, be right back. My mom's calling me again. Sorry about that again. Wasn't expecting to make a long ass video, but it is what it is. Let me just close that. Oh yeah, I was gonna show you the mixer. Yeah, so I literally just send the leads to this mixer. The mixer has what I need. Has another EQ. Has another compression. As you can see, pretty basic compression. Passive EQs, neat. Volume shape I didn't really use. I have it turned off. I used to do the sidechain in there, but I don't do it anymore. I do it in the reverb and the delay here. So it goes here, and I used to use the peak controller. I think I still do, but not anymore. The peak controller is when the leads are playing with the reverb, it ducks down the reverb, but then when there's notes playing, the reverb ducks back up just to fill in that gap, which is a neat trick, but it's a very complicated one using peak controller. So I opted to the simplest method. So I'll link it to the reverb and the delay. So the Fruity limiter acts as the peak controller now. That ducks in and out with the reverb. And I add kickstart as the sidechain when it's playing when the kick is playing, but when it's on the break, I have it off because there's no kick playing at all, so it won't make the kick more muddy. And then you got your standard Oxford dynamics, just to build up the gain a little bit, and Lexahor reverb. People use Valhalla or whatever, but I like to use Lexahor. And I use H delay for that one as well, the delay for it, as you can see. Half a note on 160 BPM. I used to do ping pong, but not anymore. And I used to have it panning to the left, but you don't need it. You can leave it as it is. Again, the Fruity limiter, do it for the delay as well, and yeah, like standard EQ, nothing too crazy. So yeah, so we'll go ahead to the build and then to the main climax. So I'll just start it from here. Okay, so that's the first main climax drop. You can hear there was two different punches. They're the exact same punch. This is the main punch. That's how it sounds like, but it sounds a bit. Yeah, and then I just copied the same punch, made it its own unique, and then what I explained before, just played with the pitch, multiplicator, and pogo. So if I was to play it on its own, this is how it sounds like. Sounds weird, but it works well with the punch. And the tail's still the same. Nothing's changed. So if I just play that again from this part here, so you can just hear the difference. And I like to switch it up with the punch when I have like the main small break, just to make that quick change. I feel like it transitions well with it when you do it. If you were just to play it normally without that and then have like another punch playing, then it doesn't sound complete. So if you have like a break with kick rolls, drop, kick effects and so on, vocals, I feel like it would do the job as it did in this track. Okay, pretty sick. Same melody, just no bass line playing. I didn't want to add the chords, didn't need to. I feel like the leads just carry the whole track. And this one, yeah, just you got your standard samples again. Few automations. I got the automation for the leads that does the sidechain, so it turns on that kickstart that I showed you in the reverb bus. And I got another sidechain for the vocals, so it doesn't interfere with the kicks. Just got more automations, so it cuts off the reverb, so it does it for here as well. So see, doesn't leave any reverb behind. It just makes it clean, so it goes to the drop. It does that for the delay as well, and so on. So yeah. And I still got the same master automation that builds up the decibels again to just make it sound louder in the mix. Yeah, this was used barely for anything. It just kept the leads open until it gets to the second part of the climax. It ducks out. Yeah, I don't know why I kept the whole thing. I could have just cut it, but I just left that as it is. Yeah. I got the vocals, even the vocals, you can see here how I like to make it louder in some areas of the drop and then not loud in some areas. So if I can show you here where the vocals, maybe it was this one. So you can see how it builds up. So it builds up just to make it louder in the mix. These small details will make a difference in your track. It just takes time. Just be patient and try not to rush. Yeah, so that's the main climax part. Nothing too crazy. And then it will go to the second build. Second build's the exact same as the first build. But then it will drop to now this part. This part I wanted to make it more trancey, so it's like a trancey stab, as you can see. So I'll play that part. Yeah, so that's now that build for that. So that's how the leads sound on its own. You must be like, wait, how come this bar here sounds lower? It's because in some has lower here, I just kept that one to go up, so it kind of has a different variation. But yeah, it's just a lot of playing around to see what sounds right and so on. Like, honestly, when I started producing, I had no music knowledge. Even now, I still don't. It's just off by ear. If it sounds good, sounds good. If it doesn't, then keep trying. So I'll go to the next drop. Builds the same. Vocal chops is different. It's the whole vocals, but just chopped up. With the distortion turning back on. And then it turns back off when it gets to this vocal here. And then, yeah, builds the same as the filter cutoff is going down, so you don't hear the leads playing anymore. So it kind of makes a more clean transition. Same thing here. This is not necessary. You can add the punch here if you want. That's up to you. Yep, and track just ends there. It's pretty much it for that part. So yeah, same drop, same kick, same everything. Nothing too crazy. Added the vocal chops again, side chains. I think it was distorted, was it? No, it wasn't distorted. Yeah, we'll interfere with the kick if it was distorted. So yeah. Yeah, pretty much all the same. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, same automation. The vocals going back up again so you can hear it in the mix. Yeah. If you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them in the comments. That's if anyone watches it. Opposed for me not making music or quitting. Like I said in my Facebook post, I still like to make music and I still continue to do so, but just not release or anything. I'm just doing it more for myself. Um, what I would plan for the future, I'm not too sure. I kind of like making content like this and other types of content, but just never had the confidence to do it, or just never had the time because of work. I've always been a big fan of doing Twitch streams and so on. I like to play games. Like some games that I play is like Counter Strike, waiting for CS2 because Source 2 is out finally. Play some MMO games. I still play Lost Ark. Waiting for Diablo 4 to come out. Play the beta. It's pretty good. Um, Played Guild Wars 2 for a bit, but that's more for me casual. I'm not really taking it seriously. Lost Ark is the serious MMO that I'm really into. But yeah, if you guys want to see that type of content, then yeah, I'll probably make a Twitch channel or whatever. But for now, I'm not too sure. Let's see what happens. Will I come back as Styler? Probably not. Um, will I continue to make music? Yes, but just not release it anyway. It's just to have it. Yeah, because I've been doing this since I was 14, and I'm like what 24, 25 now, turning. This took years and years and years to practice. I've had help from friends who taught me a few couple of tricks here and there, which I'm grateful for. Um, yeah, YouTube tutorials back then there wasn't that many, so it was very hard to learn. But now everyone has all these sample packs, tutorials, videos, like just got everything, even master classes now. That's like a big help. I wish I had that when I was first starting out, but we didn't. So we had to like pretty much learn. I had to learn FL from scratch on myself. Like how to even open the piano playlist and so on, and like the mixer and all that. Like even like linking your plugins to your mixers and just using the mixer, processing and mixing it. Oh man, it was just too much. But if you keep practicing every day, then yeah. If you want to see more type of these videos, then let me know. But yeah, it's pretty much it for the breakdown. Hopefully that's kind of helpful or helpful to others. But yeah, I guess I'll see you guys later or maybe never, but who knows. So yeah, see you guys.